Hello and welcome in. This is a live stream, and I'm Franklin, the astrologer, and I will be guiding our chat room along this evening as we answer questions for people and discover what sort of a day this one in particular is. And it was quite a day. There was a lot going on. This is October 21st of 2022. And if we add up all of those numbers together, the 10 for October and 21 for the day, and then 2022, add it all together and bring it down to a two-digit number, we then have a 10 for today. SJ saying hello. Good evening, SJ. Mayu also hello. And Mayu asked if we're having a good evening. And SJ also asked you, how are you? Well, this is a 10. That today is both beginning and ending. It's the day of the transition, the coming down to the end of Libra, right? And we just have a couple of more days before we'll skip on into Scorpio. Today, we had, of course, the sun sign in Libra and the moon sign today in Virgo. And it's a very interesting combination that makes the people born on this date and everyone whose birth date digitally adds up to the number 10. If you can distill it down to the number 10, these are some of the notes that I've made through the years after talking with tens. Born healers, magnetic energy that is an influence for good to everyone around them. So whether they even accept the fact that they are a healer and they are a hands-on healer, they're still doing good. They're still manifesting good out into the universe. They're sending good karma out. And this is how so many of them who are more private people than public who would go out and do hands-on healing. So the other thing is that they inspire other people to also do good. They are very often reluctant or insecure in their healing abilities. But these are people who can take on themselves, take on a physical problem so that they can learn how to heal it. And very, very many of them attract these things into their life without knowing why they did that. What was the purpose of that? And as it turns out, is to show other people how to get through that disease or whatever that it was. So they create these physical problems for themselves very often because they want to learn how to heal that problem. What a wonderful way to look at the world. To even uh, if you're not fully sold on the idea of you being a healer and you getting out there and then telling others that you're a healer. Well, 9 out of 10 of the Libras with Virgo moon are um, the ones who are the most influenced by good karma from other people when they see people doing good. And a real note for those born today and all those with 10, the best healing for you comes through music, comes from listening to music. And SJ says birthday is February 23rd, and I thought I was a healer. It every everything from every sign and from every number is within you, SJ. The entire zodiac, the moon runs through the entire zodiac every 28 days. And the moon is the most influential thing that we have going for us. So the fact that you're Pisces, I mean that says healing to begin with, SJ. This the Pisces method. Mayu says music is my way to understand my emotions. Yes, Izzy checking in and saying hi. Izzy, we're talking about today's people. Number 10. These people have acute intuition, and it allows them to actually see into the hearts and minds of other people. They are they're more heart reader than they are mind reader. But they talk about people who can read your body language, read the quivers in your voice. They soak this all up. Those who are born today have been called angels walking with humans, and and during their lives they will be called angelic, and it takes them their lifetime to understand what that really means. SJ says that that's a beautiful thought. It is. It's a wonderful thing. These people are the angels when they connect to their higher self through their crown chakra. When they accept the fact that they are as good as anyone who has ever walked this earth, then imagine the healing power that comes through this person who has been so reluctant to use it. And a really a great thing to know is the music. That when music, you know how it does affect you, right? We hear a marching song from a band, you're ready to march. When you hear a sad song, you are saddened. You have empathy for uh, that situation and for other people, and that's what healing is all about: is being able to connect with other people, being able to use what you've been given. Mayo says, I need to spend time around number 10 people. Yes, yes. And these people, uh, Izzy says, my daughter is a hoot. My daughter Amy does the live stream on Tuesday nights. And yes, well, my daughter, what can I tell you? It's Mayu says we could use some healing. Well, healing is is all about being able to move along. The number 10 says when you're doing a reading for someone and the number 10 comes up, Mayu says Amy is amazing too. The amazing Amy is how she builds herself there, and I I have certainly learned things from Amy while teaching her how to access what she has. Is Kita is Hita says hey. SJ says my son's birthday is on the 10th, and that says a lot about them. That there is a 10 within there. Your birth number is one thing, but check on your birth certificate. Count the digits that are on your birth certificate, whatever it was, and that number of digits is a very useful number, very much like the birth number, in that you see what's coming. And how are you? Says Hita. I'm really well. I'm getting better. I a week or two ago, I took this year's flu shot and finally had that reaction that they've been talking about. And just had to sit down, couldn't go even leave the doctor's office for about a half an hour there. And I think I really had a mild case of the flu that was going through me. So, um, as it says, SJ birthday is 23 February 2. Yeah. Life path. Life path 11 says SJ. Double creativity, double the amount of ideas, and unfortunately, double the chance of you having writer's block, not being able to do it by blocking yourself. Uh, yes, as that's a life path for Ishida, also the 11. The 11 is a doubly creative number, also when you use it for relationships. I'm a 2, my wife is a 9. We have an 11 relationship. It's like oxygen meeting fire. For that was 50 years ago, and we still feel the same way about each other. It's been a wonderful ride of ups and downs and being together. The 11 really brings out the creativity within you yourself, or within your relationship. And creativity means being happy. How many relationships do you know that both of the people are happy? Happiness is what we're all looking for. Mayu says that's a beautiful thing. Yes, it is. Esisa says, do you have any significant astrological connections? Pisces. It almost always turns into a competition between who can be nicer, and not take advantage of the other person. Um, the mixture of any double sign, which planets are in Pisces. Well, right now, the ruling planet Neptune for Pisces is in the constellation Pisces, and it has been for the last year and a half, and will be for about another 2 years till 2025. This has brought about big changes in if you look at it through a 50-year lens, then there's within these last couple of years, there's been more changes. Changes are getting faster and happening all the time. Okay, as he just says, I met in you and your wife's. Yes. The first time that I ever went to a psychic was because of my wife, and she had been and gotten great information from a lady who was visiting in our hometown, and she's from Portland, Maine, and she really. I had a heart attack on the golf course. I tried to call my wife, didn't come get me, I guess. I don't know why else I was calling her. And her phone, she couldn't answer her phone because in her beauty shop, a man had a heart attack in her chair, and she was dealing with his problem at that moment and could not deal with mine. And when later on, when she found out, it almost put her into a depression. And it was through meeting Mary Ann Russell that she was able to see that she was being shown that she was trying to take care of the world, trying to take care of everyone. And you can't do that. You deplete yourself. SJ says depends on the time of birth. Izzy says, ooh, 1:32 a.m. How much do you know my birth time? It's one of the most revealing things about your birthday is there's also your rising sign, and that rising sign was what was hitting the eastern horizon when you were first seen by the world. That rising sign is how the world will see you for your entire life, and that's how they're going to react to you, how they see you. Don't know my time of birth. SJ, it's enough that you know the date. The date is the main thing. Anything else is going to help, but it's not your main path. That so when you know what sign you are, you've really taken the biggest step. Back in the 1800s is when the man who wrote under the name Alan Leo, because he was afraid of being arrested, he wrote about the different signs and how sun signs change everything. See, until that time, the only people that they did readings for were people like the Buddha. He was born the son of a king, right? So um, the signs were meant to show the pathway of the leaders. And Alan Leo is the one who discovered that if you know the date of birth, it doesn't matter who you are. And he opened up astrology to everyone in the entire world. And see, SJ, yes, Cancer rising, and and the moon. Oh boy, and the Pisces as your sun sign. Uh, It's uh, Pisces is the sign of dreamers who can get lost in their dreams, and they're not the most self motivated people in the world. And, very often they need someone like my wife to get them motivated, get them out of the house, make them go out there and do things. And this is why she and I, everyone who's ever known us says, well, opposites attract. You're completely opposite people. To us, that's what attracted us to each other. Was that we take care of each other. We do what the other one finds hard to do. And as Jay says, I need that. It's uh, it's a wonderful thing when you do fit together with someone. But the first time that I ever had a reading, this is the first time I ever heard about bonds between human beings. And the young guy that did that reading was he saw golden bonds between my wife and myself. And to him, that said we'd been together in other lives. Now, Marianne Russell was able to put us into that life and go back and see what had happened. And yes, we had been brother and sister in a life hundreds of years ago, maybe around 1300, a long time ago. And we were on the streets. Our parents had abandoned us, and we were taken in by the gypsies. And it is through that gypsy band that this is why I found that I had such an affinity for the tarot cards. I knew it when I picked them up, and I knew what they were and what they were supposed to be telling us. And the other thing about that life that we had together is that my son, a person that I have problems with today, he and I clashed in that life. He was a member of the gypsy band and wanted to continue the way they were going. Now, my wife gets very ill, my sister in this. And the real question is, do we go steal the medicine because we can't afford the medicine? So, so in this life, we're playing through this scenario of her having cancer. And when when you fight cancer not once but twice, and now we're trying to recover, it takes every penny that you could ever hope to see, and 10 times that amount. You you just it's devastating what can happen. But that's the story that we're karmically involved in. A question of, is medicine worth what you pay for it? Somehow, if I had it, I would be enlightened, right? I wouldn't be needing to be here in another lifetime. Sorry, says SJ. Well, it's we got to find each other. In this balance, because I've got Mars in Aries, says he's yeah. Um, Mars, Mars is a hard planet to deal with because it pushes you to get out there in the face of the world and do something, even if it's wrong. Don't just sit there. Do something. Mars, Mars, for all of its burned out appearance, is a real pusher of human beings on this planet. And he says, I believe I've recently come across someone significant from a past life. I don't entirely understand why yet. And keep this in mind. You can have more than one karma. Ah, maybe that's why people get jerked out of lives. Well, they have to go attend another life. It makes sense to me that you can have more than one karma because you have more than one spirit guide inside of you talking to you, taking you. Sometimes you can have spirit guides who actually are at cross purposes. It seems this is when you cannot make up your mind. When you, oh, this is, well, this is, and oh, maybe, but I got to think about it one more time. uh, uh, so the past life is that person from uh, a past life. It has to work both ways. That's the only way that would be possible, is that you both can see that bond that is between you, and how that holds you together. And yes, yeah, it is true. We all have karma. Why would there, after hundreds of thousands of years, why would we not double up on some of the karma? How can there really be 7 billion different ones being worked right now? Maybe some people have like clones. They exist. I do think that I do think that the, the purpose of us being here is to become enlightened. Is to see that everyone is alike. Everyone is a part of the puzzle. Everyone is important. There is a page in the Akashic records for you, for me. Imagine that. And for every enemy we have. What sometimes our purpose in this life is nothing except to set an example for other people. And that can be a good example, or how easy is it to get angry about something and become a bad example. But at your worst, you're helping someone. You're showing them a mistake that they don't have to make. It's like growing up and watching your parents. You're watching every mistake they ever make, and hopefully you learn from that instead of try to teach them by going whole hog into that. but people are just people. And so it is a wonderful thing when you find someone. So the test really is the test of whether that person should be in your life in this life, and further that there's a reason that they are in your life here, and that is if you can forgive them. Uh, some people don't make mistakes. I don't think so. I don't think there's a soul on this planet who can truthfully say they've never made a mistake. And to learn from each other's mistakes, why else would we put 7 billion people into this planet? And see, the population of the world really exploded about 1600. That's when babies started living. When people realized that soap and water was the best thing to fight any disease. And the 200 million people that were on the planet when Jesus was around didn't double, didn't turn into 400 million until the 1500s. And from that point on, we have been doubling the population faster and faster and faster. Got it down to less than 100 years when supposedly we turned it around, and I'm not so sure that it's a possible thing to turn around. But imagine all of the people who have been around, and how many of them were just like you and I. They lived under different conditions, so of course they thought differently. But people are basically people. And this is why it's so important that we have some of these tens around us. And you see, when you draw a 10, when you're doing a reading for someone, and the 10 is what comes up, it means that whatever you've been doing is over. It's over and done with. And of course, if it's been a rough time, well, how great. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it means that whatever you've been doing, you have gotten all the good out of it, no matter how good or bad that it is. And it's time for you to make a choice. If you draw a 10, 10 says you have to make a choice between the way that you have become complacent and stop, trying hard, and what would offer a new challenge. And very often we just sit back and, well, I'm just going to let it come to me. And we don't get out there and challenge ourselves, and we become stagnant. And that's the whole purpose of the 10, is to tell you that your time is up. Your back is against the wall. Even if you make the wrong decision, it's better than not making a decision at all. So the card connected to Libra is the Justice card. And that lesson teaches us how to have balance, and to balance the cycles of life, and how your actions are balanced by other people's reactions. The Justice card is the card of karma, and it says you will now reap what you have sown, whatever it is. And this teaches us to be more in balance and more fair-minded towards other people. And that's how you straighten out your life. You don't change other people. Can't be done. But you can sure change the way you deal with them. Change your reactions to them, and thereby change your world. It's the only way you can do it. It really is. So when we look at today, and we look at someone who is born today in this month of October, the best thing we can tell them is don't get rigid. Never say never. Never count yourself out. She just says, I have a question, if you wouldn't mind reading into it. And Ashita, what can I look at for you? That's the whole purpose of these get-togethers. Is the people in the chat room do bring us some very interesting questions and material, and it's for me, this is a healing event. I look so forward to this evening when I get a chance to not only unburden myself on top of you, right, and dump it all on you, but also to find out from other people. I learn something new every day. It's and it's one of those things is that tarot cards are a very open channel to allow for the same sort of questions that people were asking thousands of years ago. Ashita says, I have a college job. Placements are going on. Can you see by when I'm going to be able to get a job and happy with it? Well, let's look at that. The job situation. Oh, that's you. You're at ground zero. Pardon me. That really couldn't be better. This is the zero card, the connection between the material world and the spirit world. This is your guides telling you, yeah, you can step right off of that cliff because there's going to be a safety net there to catch you. Don't worry about it. Don't do what needs to be done. There you are. You're standing on the edge of the cliff. You've got 1 foot already up in the air. You're going. You're going. And what it's going to take is a little help from a friend, someone maybe that you're uh, working with or going to school with. There's someone who's going to give you that final nudge by saying, hey, I'm going. And they'll leave you there if you stand there. And that's how you're going to get off the dime and get into that, which is great. Sooner the better. They're waiting for you. That's you're going to find exactly what you want, and that's a wonderful thing to really get what you want and not dread going to work. There are so many people who the actual going to work is the first chore of the day, and it's a shame that some people have to. And hey, I've been there. I worked 3 jobs at once, around the clock and around the week, and things eventually just fade into each other, and you get lost, and you have to slow down. And for me, my guys gave me a heart attack, right? Oh me. Well, yeah. There's, in fact, I thought I was so strong. First heart attack didn't bother me. I walked right through it. But when the second one hit, oh man, I'm out on this walking only golf course, way back at the backside, and now I can't walk, and that's when I tried to call my wife, and my guides told me you're on your own. And so when I finally got back home. This little golf course is about 5 minutes from my house. And when I got home, I called her again. Oh, it was something to see. SJ asking to pull a card. SJ, SJ, if I were if I were asking your guides what you need to hear right now, it would be to take it one step at a time. A series of small steps works out a lot bigger, a lot better than taking a giant step. And you need to look before you leap. But there's that's a happy home. That's a contented card. That looks good. It does. Mayu says, "Could I have a card too?" Mayu, well, let's look way down into Mexico and see what Mayu's up to. Ooh, ready to make a decision, just like a 10, right? It's your guides. Mayu are saying your time is up, and you can. You're not going to get all the information unless you ask your guides. This is the perfect opportunity. You don't have all the information you need. You ask your guides to give it to you. I bet they're waiting for you. Oh, so sorry, says SJ. Uh, International. Oh, so uh, it's today has been a 10. It's a transition day, and keep that in mind. You're looking at a decision today between sticking with the old, and that means getting stuck in one of those small steps. See, by honoring each step in the process, you know when to release it, when to let it go, and that's the hardest thing in the world to do, is to let something go. But if you cannot forgive someone, they don't need to be in your life. Mayo says that's exactly it. And, uh, and ARV, ARV, let me find you. ARV. Uh, ARV is ready to express themselves. There's something you want to tell us. Is there a question you'd like to ask? And we'll see what what we turn up for you. But this is three is about expressing yourself, and if you try to hold it in, you can create blockages inside. And always the best thing to do is tell people what you want. That's oh man, that's a skill that you learn when you work with people. When you do psychic calls, they only have so many minutes. They want their answers to their questions, and you need to lead them along in the right path. I mean, that's all you're doing is leading them. Everyone has intuition. Some people use it, and some people have it so close to the surface that they that they have to use it. As Jay says, been a very upsetting day for me. Transitions are hard. To let go of the old and to have enough faith to know that it's time to let go. No matter how good or bad something is, um, you have to let it go. And if there's someone in your life that you cannot forgive, the best thing you can do is stay away from that person. And if you can forgive someone and they can forgive you, man, that's great. That is a relationship. Mayo says, I hope it gets better to SJ. Uh, okay, so ARV says 3 is my favorite number. And I've been sitting on the book I'm working on now with gratitude. Yes, yeah. There's a time to spin the wheel, and say, what the heck? I'm going to give it my best shot. And SJ's saying thank you to Mayu. It's good cooperation here in the chat room, and this has really worked out to be a cathartic sort of get together, as everyone is telling their truth, and it is better already, says SJ. And there's the thing to remember, SJ, is that Virgo is going to jump into Scorpio in about 48 hours. So hang on. There's an insurgence coming of that Scorpio. Good luck. Scorpio creates good luck. Mm-hmm. Better, yes. Yes, all right, better. Thank you. So if you wonder, if you when you come across someone, do do you belong with them? You do only if you can forgive them. If you can really forgive and get over it and allow everyone to make mistakes and not try to be so completely rigid and make everybody play by the rules, and make everybody adhere to what you consider to be the right behavior. So it's really up to you to create the world as you want to see it out there, to be able to plan ahead and to see things coming, and to be able to explicitly trust other people. When you find someone who gives you honest feedback, you need them. You do. When you find someone who can look at you and say, here's what you really need to do. It's a wonderful thing, and that's what the 11 mixture is all about. And believe me, I've lived it for over 50 years, and it's and my wife is a Scorpio, and my daughter also is a Scorpio, and it's to have them in the same house together was always an event. But now that now that Amy is out on her own, you can really take a deep breath and thank your lucky stars for my granddaughters. I have a 13-year-old and a 22-year-old granddaughter who both have tremendous psychic ability. The older one worked her way through college doing psychic calls, and is now in the healthcare biz, and is out there helping people, and is really living the dream. To be 22 years old and to have everything out in front of you is really a wonderful thing. And then the other little one at 13 is just becoming a teenager, and going through all the school things, and is a really a good balanced human being. So to have both of those girls, it's just tremendous. I can I can plug into the real world with a talk with one of those girls, right? Because they give me honest feedback, and they're both very very psychically open, and I feel like I've uh, given them a good place to start from in the world by letting them know that the things they see are real. Everything on this planet happens for a reason. Everything comes to us for a reason, and I I really enjoy being able to look into these things for people because they're a talent unused is wasted, and it truly is. The monk who goes off and lives in a cave is pretty useless, you know, and the the way the world closes in. Uh, Sometimes we really just want to go on out and find ourselves a nice, comfortable cave somewhere and just forget about the troubles of the world. But the reason the troubles of the world keep stepping on our toes and making us watch, hey, hey, is that's how we learn. There's a huge pendulum out there. My son, Franklin, is very sick and not happy. Oh, and taking it out on you. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, so the son, SJ, is has got to change horses in midstream. He's got to uh, he's got to get on a whole new track. You're right. He's very sick, and um, that whatever you're considering, different kind of therapy maybe um, can work. Can work. Yes, yes. I mean, holding the pinnacle, he can find a way. The path is open out there, so even if it seems radical, you need to do it. You need to just for your mind's sake. You got to check out every possibility, and that will certainly make you feel better. It's very hard to, yeah. 24 hours a day is not enough. It's that's hmm, that only certain people are given that opportunity. You're given the opportunity to show how much you love that child, and that's something a lot of people never get. So enjoy it. It's I know it's rough, I know, but we have to keep our end of the bargain when we ask God for things. You know, um, and if you've ever had something good come into your life that you didn't deserve, that suddenly just fell into your lap, then there's there's always the other shoe drops. There's a price on everything, and good feelings are what you get from other people. That's why this group is so effective because they all pull together and they all want the best for each other. And when that's your thought, you're creating good karma. And these satellite broadcasts where you can hook up people that just it's amazing what you can send out, what you can send to to anyone, any innocent bystander out there who just happens to go across the pan and ends up here. And surely there's someone watching for the first time tonight. And, and as you can see, we take a very open approach to everything. It's it's always better to be able to talk about things, to uh, to let you know that you're not alone. That there are there are other souls in this world, and the reason we're here is to take care of each other, and the reason we have problems is to help us understand each other, The reason for natural disasters is to show all these countries in the world that you can't make it alone. All these states that have problems with each other. The natural disasters come to show you that you're wrong. You're not self-made. You can't stand by yourself. The, we have to help each other to reach our enlightenment, so we can all go to heaven, where or whatever that is. Because I don't think anybody's going to go until we all go together. That's the whole purpose of the reincarnations, the many lives, and to be able to reach your enlightenment. And when you think about how short lives used to be just 1,000 years ago, and which is a drop in the bucket, SJ says, "Yes, I want to see him do good." It's yes, yes. It's such a relief to see the right medication get to, especially a child. It's it's why we have all these doctors. It's why we invest all of this money from research and trying to. SJ says thank you, and I so appreciate that, SJ. That's like I say, this is therapy for me, to be able to share the good and the bad, to share the pain, and to let you know that there are people out there who will help you. It's the the world can seem like such a strange place when you look at it through the lens of a single lifetime, as though this were going to be your only time to be able to visit this planet. And when you look at it through that single lifetime, and you consider that maybe everything just comes to a crashing end, it really gives you a different point of view to look at multiple lives, to see that you're skimming across the top. Mayu says, "Thank you for being here and being with us, Franklin. I appreciate that. I thank all of you so much for being around and being with us and being a part. This is all about the people in the chat room who make things happen." And so we'll, on this 10-day, a day of transitions, we we can we can put it to bed. I think we'll go ahead, and if we still have a couple of minutes here, if someone's there and I haven't been able to answer your question, then please let's go ahead and see if we can work you in. It's been a very interesting evening, and Libras are just about to end their run through the year. Usually, the most fortunate time of the year for anyone is the 30 days leading up to their birthday, and of course, your birthday. And things. Mayo says, "Thank you for being with us," and SJ says, "I need help. What can I do for you, dear? What what can we what could we answer for you? Your guides want to tell you something. They're oh, they're trying to organize. They're, because you're the closest one. Because you're the you that lifts it off of him. You're the sponge, and yeah, it's hard to see someone become someone else because of circumstances. That's the the hard time is something that you would rather deal with than to not have him there, and enjoy, get the good out of it while you can. And there is a way to turn that around. there's a medication, a therapy, whatever, another doctor um, that can that can do something. So uh, that is it's always so hard to uh, to have a child be sick and to really you're the one doing all the work and you're there, so of course they're going to take it out. It's like so many married couples that don't really care to be married. We always take it out on the one that's closest to us. The person having a hard time at work goes home and is not the nicest person in the world, and that's the way that the world treats us is how we very often treat the world. But returning evil for evil never works out. No, never declare a war on somebody. Never say never. Never say you're never going to get over that. Well, it may take you a couple of lifetimes, but you you will. You'll eventually see that there's returning evil for evil is the basic problem of the world. Getting revenge. If we could live without revenge, think about what a different world it would be. If we could really concentrate on the things that matter. Feeding everybody. My God. Uh, SJ says, I hope so. I hope so. It's you're not alone out there, SJ. There's that's why communications are so important in this day and age when we can actually help each other. We can reach out and understand what what's going on, and to be able to um, lighten the load. That's the whole purpose of having friends, being around you. So until next time, I'm Franklin, and I will see you next week, same time, same channel.